right, FightHype.com here with Showtime Championship Boxing's Raul Marquez. Raul, man, David Benavidez, one of the most exciting guys in boxing Saturday night. Yeah, do you think it's a competitive fight with Lemieux, or David's able to dominate on Saturday?
I mean, I think sooner or later David should dominate, but Lemieux, hey, look, he's a veteran. He's been in there with some pretty good fighters. He's been around, and you know how they say every veteran has one last big performance. Well, he's gonna need it Saturday night, and I think it's gonna be the fight's gonna be a barn burner, man. It's gonna be explosive. It's gonna be fun for as long as it lasts, and you know, but I think David will take control. You know, he's just naturally a bigger guy. He's younger, he's stronger. He's got more speed. I mean, he throws those 30 punch combinations, and I think he'll break them down.
How important do you think his jab will be in this fight, and do you think he has one of the best jabs in boxing, David?
Well, yes. I mean, that's the key. He even said it. The key for him is the jab, and he's a smart fighter. You know, he knows Lemieux has devastating power. He's got explosive power. He's knocked out. A couple of guys like Curtis Stevens and O'Sullivan. He knocked them out pretty cold. You know, the highlight real knockouts. You know that it shows that he's got one punch. He's got really good power. So, you know, he's gonna go out there and use his jab. You know, fill him out. But yeah, the key is gonna be his jab, because he's got an incredible jab. And once he puts his jab out there, it's really gonna be hard for what's his name, Lemieux to get underneath that jab. But he has no choice. I mean, he's the shorter guy. He's got the shorter arms. He's got to find a way to get inside. He's got to be quick on his feet. He's got to use a lot of movement, the way he attacks, and find a way to get in, because that's the only way he's gonna that's the only way he could get lucky, you know, and try to land an overhand right or the big left hook. If he could do that, he's not gonna win a fight from the outside. I'm talking about Lemieux.
He's got to fight like Tyson.
I was about to say that, yeah. A little bit Tyson style, quick on his feet, a lot of fast jabs. Even if he's not hitting him with the jab, just throw a lot of fast jabs to try to get in and cut that distance.
And Raul, obviously, you're Mexican-American like David, but also a Texas guy,
yes,
like Jermall Charlo. Who would you favor in that fight? That's a fight everybody wants to see now.
Well, I think, both guys are doing the right thing. They keep fighting whoever they put in front of them. I would love to see that fight. It's hard for me to pick right now because, it's just the consequences right now. Like, of course, like I said, Benavidez is Mexican-American, but I'm from Houston, and I've known Jermell ever since they're little, both of them, both of the twins. I think if the fight does happen, it's going to be a hell of a fight. It's going to be about who adapts. In boxing, you got contenders, you got champions, you got superstars. When you get to a superstar status, you got to be able to adjust at any point at the fight. And that's what Jermell did last week when he fought Castaño. He brought different dimensions to that fight. His jab was unbelievable. He utilized his jab a lot to control the distance. That was one. Number two, he used a lot of movement. And when I say movement, not just like moving around, like he moved side to side, he moved in and out, he was counter punching off of angles. And number three, he welcomed Castaño's challenge of going toe to toe. He wasn't gonna let Castaño bully him around. He was, I believe the third, fourth, and fifth round was a classic. He was like, hey, you wanna go toe to toe? You wanna twirl? Let's go, I'm here for you, so. But it was,
slowed it down.
But then like the mid rounds, he got back to the basics. He got to boxing him, and it kind of like slowed down the pace. It disrupted Castaño's rhythm. He got confused. Castaño just knows one way coming forward. He never made any changes. He never adapted, and it was Charlo the one that adapted. And then all of a sudden, bing! That counter left hook that really landed. But when Castaño got back up, man, he got back up just on pure guts and heart, because he was done by then.
Right.
I mean, I thought Jermell's gonna rip his head off. He would have landed. That left hook that to the body that he landed. Good thing it was to the body, not to the head, because he would have ripped his head off. But it was Jermell that made the adjustments at the right time. He boxed at the beginning. He went toe to toe, tried to get him out in like rounds 3, 4, 5, 6, something like that. Then the mid rounds, he went back to the basics, back to boxing, back to what's gotten him there. The range, the jab, moving, lateral movement, punching off at angles, and that's what made him win the fight. It was, and up there with Fight of the Year, and he made history by winning all belts. And I'm happy for Jermell, because like I said, he's a Houston boy. I saw him grow up in Houston, and I'm very proud of the twins.
So that's the kind of perfect boxer-puncher fight Jermall would have to do with David.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Right,
It's gonna be whoever is able to adapt better in those fights, because they're both high caliber fighters. They're both good. Benavidez, I love the way he uses his jab. I love his speed. I love how he throws 15, 20 punch combinations, the way he attacks the body. And we saw what Jermell did last week with Castaño. But that kind of fight, you got to go round by round, or every 2 or 3 rounds, you got to make adjustments. You got to be thinking. It's a lot of thinking. You got to stay focused and stick to your game plan. And again, I'm repeating myself, but whoever makes the adjustments during the fight, every 3 or 4 rounds, that's the guy that's gonna be the winner.
And lastly, Raul, because I know you got work to do. What chances do you give Rolando Romero next Saturday in Brooklyn?
I mean, I give him a puncher's chance. I mean, the guy. I was looking at his record earlier. I mean, he really hasn't fought nobody to get this type of fight. But you know what? He's a good talker. He makes it entertaining. He makes me want to watch the fight. He makes people want to watch the fight because he talks. Yeah, he talks so much shit, man. And I like him. I like Rolly. I met him before. But, you know, I think, you know, he's going to get frustrated because Gervonta is very explosive. He's very quick, and he's got power, and he's got the dog in him too, man. But I give him a puncher's chance. You know, he might land a lucky shot. He's wild. He opens up. You know, he might body slam him. You don't know what Rolly's gonna do. You know, he's gonna wrestle. He gets frustrated. When he loses it, he goes nuts. You don't know what he's gonna do, but it's gonna be an entertaining fight because of Rolly. He's selling the fight. He knows what to do. He talks a lot, and
is this power and speed real? Not the skills. You know, skills we'll talk about maybe some other time, but just the talent in terms of power and speed.
Power. Rolly does have power.
Yeah.
You know, with his hands, and I think he's strong. Physically strong. He's a physically strong fighter. But I just think, you know, Tank is he's very elusive. He's fast. He's sharp. He's short with his combinations. Rolly opens up, but you just don't know, one of those big shots that might knock Gervonta off balance, and then Rolly might come out of nowhere because he punches from weird angles, man. You know, from that judo. He used to be a judo guy, but he's got a weird stance. There's a lot of awkwardness to him, so it's gonna be entertaining. It's gonna be a good fight.
Thank you, Raul. See you in Brooklyn, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.